audiences must see this because it's going to be this beautiful, moving play that I think you're gonna enjoy learning about and seeing. I think you're gonna go on a journey, and if you've been homebound, come take a trip at the fountain. I can't wait to see an audience in a theater. Just that. It's been a while, and there's something about just that communal experience, the daydreaming, the co-imagining, the thing that happens when a group of people come together and to just share that with a group of people. I'm really looking forward to, because it's a powerful thing. So I'm excited. Hi, my name is Mark Valdez. I am the director of Detained by France-Luce Benson at the Fountain Theater. If you'd like to learn more about the play, take a listen to these stories. I got a call from Stephen Sachs at the Fountain, and over the years we've been trying to do something together, and just has never worked timing wise. And in this moment where my travel schedule had eased up a little bit, I got a call from him kind of at the right time, and he said, "Hey, we've got this play that we're really excited about, and wondering if you would take a look at it." And I did. And it's this really powerful play. And I got to say, my initial impulse was to say no. It's like, I don't know that I'm the right person for this. Because what I found, like, in my reaction was that I was just enraged. Like, I read this play, and it wasn't that I was just angry or felt like, oh, I'm going to do something. I was just enraged. Like, rage is probably, like, really the right word. And I thought, like, I don't know that the world or audiences want to see this angry production. And so I said to Steve, I said, well, like, can we just hop on the phone? Because, like, I noted that it was such a strong response, and I said, like maybe we can talk through it, because maybe I'm just missing something, or I just don't know kind of what to do with these feelings, and I just need to process them. But would you hop on the phone? And he said, yeah. I said, well, why don't we invite France-Luce, and the three of us can just talk. I was like, perfect. So we got on the phone, and I just said, like, I'm just aware that this is my kind of emotional response, and like, as a director, as somebody who thinks about audience experience, my fear is that uh, I'm going to it's just going to be this really angry production, because these stories, they like, if when you hear them, it's impossible not to just be outraged at just the injustice that's happening. And so we talked through it, and Frances is just brilliant. Can I just say that? I mean, she's just, as a writer and just as a human being, and she just said, well, here's something to think about, that these stories have to be told. Like, we carry that responsibility, and sure, we could come in and get really angry, but but when you hear these voices, they they're just so honest, and they're forthright, and they just give so much. And there are moments of anger, but ultimately there's just this human need to have somebody just to have somebody witness, to have somebody know what's going on, so that somebody hears what's happening to them. And there's a strength in that. And so she said, think about that, and then figure out kind of if this is something that if this is a world and something you want to do, kind of spend time in. And I went back and I thought, like, this, like, I hadn't done a play like this before, and I like to do different, I always like to do something new, and I've done a lot of community-based work in my own kind of practice. And so I understood what she was talking about, and I thought, this is kind of yeah, like, take the risk, like, try this, like I think it'll be an artistic challenge, and it's like, how do you make art out of something so brutal? Like, that's a real question for me, and should we make something so awful beautiful? which is really like once you start to give it aesthetics, right? That's kind of what you do. And so, so these questions were just questions that I didn't have easy answers to, and got me that much more interested in figuring out like how do you start to answer this. And yes, part of this process has been trying to answer those questions. So, Detained is a play that it's about the stories of people who are being detained in immigration centers, detention centers. And a lot of what the play does is shed light on what's happening and how we got here. So much of what the play deals with, it really just comes down to our laws and policies. That at a certain level, we as a country have agreed to enact laws that that have led to the detention of immigrants, and we kind of see that the range of we kind of we see what that means. It's the laws are such that um, they're very prescribed, and so it just means that, yeah, I think like for me, for instance, like I had convinced myself based on nothing, frankly, that when you go before a judge, that the judge holds a lot of discretion and weighs evidence and looks at your history and who you are. And sometimes we do stupid things, and it all happens. It happens to all of us. And but it doesn't have to define us, right? But these laws are such that judges actually have very little, if any, discretion. Like they're so prescriptive that you just automatically could end up in deportation. And the deportation system being what it is like many people will spend more years in the detention center than they did in prison paying for their crime the first time. Like that's one example of what's going on. And so we hear over the course of the play, we hear these stories of what's happening. And in a lot of ways we engage in a debate. We engage in a debate about who we want to be as a country and um, what are our values and do these laws uphold our beliefs? And I guess parts of it are uncomfortable. Like you have to sit in discomfort at what's happening because, like I said, like whether purposefully or not, whether consciously, actively, or just by our own kind of apathy or lack of engagement, we have allowed these laws to get passed and to be placed, and they are the laws of the land. And so, at a certain level, we are complicit in what's happening, and you're asked to sit with that for a little bit, and it's powerful. It's also like these stories. There's these beautiful characters and there's wonderful actors doing amazing work to bring them all to life, and it's for as hard as it is. There's also something really powerful and beautiful, I would say, about people, about hearing these stories that I think kind of helps balance out that experience. So you don't necessarily leave kind of sad and wanting to poke your eyes out because the world is so bad, but you are left kind of with the sense that you can do something, and I think ultimately that's really kind of what we can do and all we can ask. I am the luckiest human being in that I get to work with this brilliant, brilliant playwright, France-Luce Benson, who is just a badass, awesome, incredible human being. Insanely smart, super insightful, just has this ear for dialogue, for how people talk. It's the play that she's put together is just brilliant. It's so good, so powerful. It's based on stories, on interviews that she conducted, and so there's this added element of people, of representing real people, real people who are going to come see the play, and yet editing and crafting and shaping this into a journey, into art, right? And she has just done this amazing work, and I'm telling y'all, keep an eye out on this writer, because only just more brilliant things to come. I am sure of that. And then if that were like amazing enough, like this cast of actors who are just some of the best in the field. They are all so good. We have seasoned veterans like Christina Avila, who is in Zoot Suit, like in the original Zoot Suit, who has this amazing storied career and just brilliant actor and human being, and Jan Monroe, Will Dixon, who's all both of them just freaking just such good actors. Michael Riaz, who's he's this great ability for comedy and just heartbreak, and Camila and Marlo, younger actors who again just keep an eye on these two, because they're so damn good, and they bring this energy and this the heartbreak of what the system is doing to people, and they do it just so honestly, and they just like the whole cast are just generous and kind, and I just can't say enough great things. I mean, they're really good, and we laugh a lot. Like rehearsals are fun, and we do a lot of work, but they're silly, and they're everything that you want, a rehearsal process to be, and a cast, a company to be. So insanely lucky, really am. My hope for the audience, in terms of what I'd like them to take away, is the sense that that we can do something. That we we can actually change policy. Like it's doable. It's not easy, but we elect people. Like we vote. Like we can do things pretty easily. It's actually not a mystery how policy gets passed. Like it's pretty obvious, right? And so for these things that we care about, for these when we hear these stories, my hope is that people will find entry points where they can join the conversation, where they can kind of add their voices, and if these are things, if what you see that is happening are things that you disagree with, that you feel empowered and that you feel that you can do something about it. That we're going to be connecting audiences with different advocacy groups here throughout Los Angeles area. There'll be some talkbacks. There'll be some tabling that's happening around performances. There'll be some special event engagement opportunities where, if it's something that you want to help change and do something about, we're helping to provide those connections so that you can do it. And at the very least, it's bringing in awareness, right? It's you can't unhear what you learned. You can't unsee it. And so at the very least, there's a moment where you sit with that, and I trust that does something, that will make a difference somehow. And so I think my hope is that if you come and you're open enough to the experience, and if you'd like, there'll be an invitation to kind of take some next steps. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about just like the city of Los Angeles and the racial demographics of this city, and think about the stories that are on our stages and the stories that have been on our stages and that need to be on our stages. I think every theater needs to do a better job of reflecting what's happening locally, reflecting who's here, reflecting the stories of our community. I think it's a big part of every theater's mission. And what's exciting about a play like Detained is that you're going to see a company of actors that represent the city of Los Angeles. It's the same kind of diversity that you encounter walking down the street is on our stage, and I think that matters. I think it's vital, not just for the survival of theater, because I think theater is going to survive. Like that, I'm not worried about that, but more for the health of our communities. Like if we can't find ways to kind of foster discourse, and if we can't find ways to represent the people who we need to be talking with, and can't put those on our stages, then I think we're going to feel it in our civic society. I think we're going to feel it in the way the city's run. And so, this is, like I said, this is at the beginning. This is a gift that theater gives to our communities. This is why theaters matter. This is why we are essential workers. This is why we can shape the fabric of our communities. And so representing stories, putting bodies of color, different abilities, different languages, that wide range of diversity on their stages, that's why it matters. It will make us a better city. Hi, my name is Mark Valdez. I am the director of Detained by France-Luce Benson that is playing at the Fountain Theater. And I want to invite you to come see our show. Buy your tickets, bring your friends, bring your family, come back into a theater. It's great. You'll be safe. You'll be in community. And after the show's over, hang around, learn some more about these issues around immigration detention. Let's make this world a little bit better.